Hiya, my name's Kaye and I live in Kent. I hope you don't mind, but I will be referring just to some notes just to help me with the video and give you the best guidance that I can. Looking back through my life, my mum was quite an anxious person, and it probably did rub off on me, especially when my mum and dad got divorced, and then a lot of issues occurred with my dad, and my anxiety was definitely there as a child, but I would say it didn't manifest until sort of a couple of years ago. I then had children myself, and I constantly started worrying about them, about their safety, about their day, just every little thing I would worry about, and it just become out of control. My anxiety hit a peak after I had an operation, and I remember not long afterwards, a week afterwards, I was at my friend's house and I had this really strange thought, and I just thought to myself, what is that? Why have I had that? What does that mean? And it's all those what ifs again. They were coming in, and I can just remember it as clear as anything, sitting there, and I started panicking, thinking, I don't understand it. What does that mean? I've since understand that it is intrusive thoughts and puro, but at that time it scared the absolute life out of me because I just really didn't know what it was. It did become an obsession. As I say, just kept going over and over the same thought, and then that obsession became another obsession. I felt like I was a complete and utter monster, and what I would do is I would sit there, and I know it was probably a sign of stress, but after time I'd sit there and just rub my lips constantly, like all the time. I couldn't speak to anyone. I didn't know what was wrong with me, why this was happening. I think I coped. Well, I'm saying I coped. I didn't cope. For about 3 months I was just trying to keep it all under control and thinking, right, okay, that's fine, I'll be all right. Right, we'll get to this stage and I will be fine. We'll get to this month, this week, this day, I will be fine. But I didn't, and what started happening is I had the shakes, and my husband thought that I had the flu. So I just played along, yeah, I'm ill, you know, I don't know what's wrong, I'm shivering, I didn't want to eat. But then it hit a peak, and I had to tell him because he knew something was wrong and it weren't just the flu. So I sat there, and I'm not very good at telling someone something when I think those thoughts don't make sense to me, let alone how's anyone else going to make sense of them. And I was scared. I thought that was the end of my relationship, and it was going to be over and done with, and he would leave me. So that was a very difficult period of my life. So what I decided to do is I decided to write a letter to him, and I gave it to him, and I was absolutely petrified, thinking, oh my God, you know, what's he going to think of me? I'm this monster, I'm this awful, evil person. It was the scariest moment of my life. Sorry, I'm just referring to my notes. I tried to continue with life normally, but it really did affect my husband. I'd still worked. I don't know how I did it. I worked at school, but I was going in the toilets. I was having panic attacks, morning break times. I'd just shut myself in the toilet. I'd stick my meditation on. I was searching for solutions, searching for answers, and just didn't know where to go. I did have CBT, and I thought that it helped me, but I'd felt reassured. The lady was absolutely lovely, and she did help with a period in my life, but then I would go away and think, I need to tell her that. So I'd sit there and I'd text her, and I'd say, is this all right to think this, and why have I thought this, and how am I going to get over this? I then looked at doing mindfulness, and I actually qualified in mindfulness, but again, you're focusing inwards, you're focusing on yourselves, your feelings, your thoughts, your breathing, but I did get a qualification in it, not that I've used it since at all. So just referring to my notes again. One night I was just at the end of my tether, and I'm sure my husband was, and I've got 2 children as well, and I was just worried I was going to lose absolutely everything, and this myself, I was becoming nutty. So what I decided to do was sit there and Google intrusive thoughts, and up on YouTube popped Charles Linden with intrusive thoughts and pure O, and I sat there and I listened to him, and I thought, that's me, that's me. There are other people out there, although my thoughts, I felt like no one would have had those thoughts. Possibly couldn't just be this pure O. I must have something really wrong with me to think this. And being sort of 35 at the time, I just thought, oh God, you know, how am I ever going to get over these thoughts? How am I ever going to forgive myself? How's my husband going to forgive me? What would people think if they knew what I was thinking? And it just went on and on and on. So I did look into the Linden method a bit more, and I went to the Charles Linden page, and I found a package for home learning, and I thought to myself, I might as well just give it a go. What have I got to lose? So I bought the home learning package, and the support team were absolutely amazing. I must have driven them mad. I emailed them, I phoned them. I then phoned them when I didn't get a response to my email, and it was like this vicious circle. But again, I had to try and stop myself from doing that for the reassurance side of things, and that only really happened when my 12 months was up, because then I did have to go alone and I did have to implement the method. So coming back to sort of now time, this all started in 2015 for me, and I did take myself to hospital. I didn't want to be alive anymore, but I knew that I needed to for my children. It was just this dark grey cloud. But as you can see from me now, I am a relatively happy person. I'm working, I've got a different job. I've had many achievements. I've climbed the 3 Yorkshire peaks. I climbed Mount Snowdon, but that was when I was still doing the method, but I'd push myself, whereas sort of before that, the thought of even doing anything like that would scare the life out of me. Going away from home, my family, the people, or my husband, who knew exactly what I was doing, what I was thinking, and I really don't know where I would be now without him listening to all the rubbish that come out of my mouth, and still does really. But no, in all seriousness, all the thoughts and that I would tell him, and then I obviously had to stop doing that and try and deal with things myself, which the Linden method teaches you to do. So I do try and challenge myself every year. So this year I did 10k cancer research run over Blackheath. So I did that, and every year I try and do something. So next year I aim to do something for Alzheimer's. So I need to look into things like that. And I enjoy going to the gym. I enjoy reading a book if I get a chance. I enjoy walking my dog and just feeling like me again. I just never thought in 2015 that I would ever feel like me again. I never thought that, well, there's just so many things I never thought I'd be able to do again. Just even being happy, just going on holiday. I went to New York at Christmas, and that was on my bucket list of things to do. And I still look forward to doing many things that I possibly can. So I still listen to Charles's videos when he uploads any to like Facebook or YouTube now. I just like listening to him because he's a sufferer. You can tell he's been a sufferer. He speaks the truth. There's not any other program out there where you can actually sit down, listen to a person, you think, yeah, they have suffered, and he speaks from the heart. And you know, doctors, you know, people do go and see doctors for this sort of thing, but a doctor's only going to more than likely give you antidepressants or refer you to CBT or mindfulness, whereas Charles speaks from experience and how he cured himself. And I think when you watch his videos, this is evident with any of these videos that he does, you know, you can clearly see he is a man of word, and he has experienced all of these things in life, and he responds to each and every one of you. So even if you sit there and just look at it and listen and then decide to do the method, you can see that he will reassure you throughout that video that what's happened to you at that time is normal for an anxiety sufferer. All I would say to you is to just try the method. As I say, support at home without my husband as well. You know, I don't know where I would be, but the method, my husband, and now I'm just a lot more happier in my life. I just want to thank Charles and the team, especially Fiona. She really did help me along some of my emails to her. She must have thought to herself, what is she going on about? I really was a bad case of anxiety. I was having panic attacks. I'd lost weight. The intrusive thoughts were there, just to name a few things. There were many other things, you know. Yeah, it's just, I don't like reflecting back at that time, but I'm doing this video to help others and hopefully inspire you to look at doing the method. And I wish you every luck, and believe you me, I thought it was impossible, absolutely impossible, but it isn't. All right, take care of yourself. Thanks, bye.